Hi, this is Polly in the middle of editing. It is like 10 p.m. and I cannot take this anymore. I need to put this disclaimer. The audio in this video is a fucking mess. It wasn't scripted. I was nervous. There was a hurricane coming. It was raining. It's all over the place. So I just wanna give you a heads up. It's the audio here. It sucks, but I don't have the energy to re-record a full hour of me talking about cats. Okay, so you're gonna have to bear with me. And I also repeat a lot of words over and over again, and I don't have it in me to edit that out. So if you notice that, sorry, I'm trying. Okay, yeah, that's my disclaimer. I can't take it anymore. I cannot ignore it. So just good luck. I am literally recording this as I'm waiting for a hurricane to strike, just to talk about silly work. You can see where my priorities lie with this. I'm so tired. So I had a very interesting couple of weeks, months, year, and I'm tired. I'm very tired, and I need a break. So I mean, I could talk warrior cats. You guys seem to like it when I talk about warrior cats, so why not? So yeah, I needed a break, and I realized I could draw background characters from the warrior series that I really like. And yeah, it seemed like a good exercise for character design and all of that, so I was like, okay, sure. Originally, I listed down 5 characters, and I somehow ended up with 13. I'm gonna talk about 13 minor characters from the Warrior Cat series that I really, really, really love, and I think they're so underrated. So, not only did I get to draw some of my favorite characters, I also did a good exercise on character design, color palettes, and just realized and just found out how to give a character a unique shape and make them look distinct from one another. The thing is, okay, so back in 2017, question mark, I made this guide for Warrior Cats design. So each warrior clan had this specific body type, facial shape to distinguish one clan from the other. Like for example, river clan cats are super big and fluffy and have pointy ears and heart-shaped noses and all of that. Wind clan is very easy actually because they are just oriental. I don't know how to pronounce words anymore. Oriental cats, long, skinny, and so on and so forth. I just made very specific traits for each clan cat. I stopped using this guide after a few years, because it was very limiting character design. It didn't let me explore as many body shapes and facial features that I wanted, so I stopped using it. But for this exercise, I thought it would be fun to go back to it and at the same time try to maintain the characters unique. Let's see how I went. It was a journey. This is super unscripted, can you tell? Can you tell I have no idea what I'm doing? Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, 2 things. 1, I directed my brother's music video. It's animated, we worked on it very hard. It's been out for a couple of months now because I didn't have time to make a video like this. You can go check it out. We worked so hard for this. We worked 4 months straight and I made a video talking about it, but the video is out. You can watch it. Here's a bit, I guess. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this. And second of all, I have a Patreon now, and also have Ko-fi, so if you wanna, you're gonna get the same rewards in either website. And I have so many works in progress and scripts and animatics and PMVs, and I need to share it with someone. So if you could go check it out, and if you're interested, then I welcome you with open arms, and I give you a kiss in the forehead. So yeah, those are my 2 statements. I'm gonna start talking about the cats now. So I'm gonna go in order of which I drew them, and then I'm just gonna make up whatever I want to say about them, because this is super unscripted. I don't know what I'm doing. So, first guy, the guy who started this idea, and my beloved, we have Foxlip. Foxlip is my little silly guy. I love him so much. He's the favorite Warrior Cats character I have. That is not a main character. Just Foxlip is so silly. He's so goofy, he's so good, he's so kind-hearted. During all of Omen on the Stars, you see him as this silly, goofy guy who's always trying to make everyone laugh, and he's just so loyal to his family, to his friends, and all of that. And then I believe it was in Sign of the Moon when he gets some protagonism with Jay Feather, I think, or Darwing. I don't remember which one was it. He really wanted to help the tribe, I remember, and he messed up and someone died. And the way it was the first time we ever saw him not in his confident, happy self. He was actually super shocked by what he did, and he was punishing himself so hard for it until I don't remember if it was Jay Feather or Dubwing, but they talked him out of it and were like, hey, this is not your fault. You tried your best. You wanted to do good, and sometimes bad things happen, but you didn't mean any of this. This is not your fault. So slowly Foxley comes back to himself. Not entirely, because obviously this is like kind of traumatic, you know? Kind of like when Grace Tribe accidentally killed White Claw, you know? I don't know why I remembered this random work as facts. This is unscripted. I'm not reading anything right now. What the hell? Okay. His death was so messed up. Have you ever read The Winged Silence? I haven't. I haven't read The Winged Silence. But his death was so graphic. It was so graphic and hurtful. Like, it actually hurt to read. I'm not gonna describe it because it's so bad. I think it was mentioned he fought for his last breath. And that's so sad to think, because he was this cheerful, silly guy, as I said, and him losing his life like that, that's messed up. That's so messed up. Leaving aside his horrifying death, Foxley is my silly little guy, and when I designed him, I wanted to portray that, you know, I wanted to show him as, you know, silly little guy. And I also wanted to give him, you know, some spots like Fern Cloud. I wanted to give him big ThunderClan paws, a lot of fluffiness, you know, like a fox, maybe. Curved ears that were like this ThunderClan trait, but I tried. And you know, the tail is very foxy-like, I guess. And yeah, this is Foxley. This is my baby boy, and he inspired this video because I wanted to talk about him so bad. And then I realized I have 12 more cats to talk about, and I'm dreading this. Okay, can you hear that it's raining? It's raining. It's raining because it's a hurricane is coming. My priorities, my god. Okay. Second, we have Snowbird from Shadow Clan. Snowbird is so cool. I started liking her since Power of Three, I think. She's so special to me in a way I cannot explain. Especially, I think in A Vision of Shadows, she started to gain more protagonism, obviously, with all this thing with Darktail and her children and all of that. And she stands her ground. And she's like, I'm not taking anybody's shit. I'm so traumatized. And I want my children to be fine, and I want everyone to be fine. But she's not gonna bend the knee, as some would say. She's so cool to me, she's so badass, and I will be very sad if she dies in this new arc. I hope she doesn't, she's so good to me. So yeah, this is my first Shadow Clan cat, so I tried to put some of the Shadow Clan features I had established since 2017. So I tried to give her like long, droopy fur, short muzzle, small ears, and all of that, but I'm not sure if she really looks like the Shadow Clan cats I put in my guide. I mean, she just looks like a very fluffy small cat with a lot of scars, but I tried. She was my first attempt. We have Frostfur. Frostfur, I think she's gaining more love recently. I hope, because she deserves it, okay? She's so good. Okay, Frostfur, if you don't remember, she's the mother of Cinderpult and Brightheart. So immediately you're gonna recognize her for that. When we meet her, we don't see really eye to eye with her because she antagonizes Yellowfang a lot. She calls her a baby eater or something. I'm not sure. Although in Frostfur's defense, she didn't know that it wasn't Yellowfang, you know, but still, she was like very, very petty and xenophobic, I guess. If I remember correctly. So you don't always see eye to eye with her, but as she grows and, you know, becomes a mother and see what her daughters go through, that's hard. I remember Fireheart apologized to her for what happened to Cinderpaw, and she's like, it's okay, I just want my daughters to be safe, you know. And then Brightheart happened, and it's just I wish they had gone more in detail with that, because it was enough. We just have like one scene of her just like being next to her daughters, and that's it. And it's like, please, I need to know what's going through her mind. But yeah, she had it rough, you guys. She had it very rough. We never see her die, but it's very implied because she's one of the elders that gets left behind when the clans move territories. She dies with the other elders due to starvation. So that's very gruesome too, actually. Like, we don't see it happening. You can imagine how painful that will be. I love her. She's my baby. We have Mossbelt. Mossbelt, maybe you guys don't know her. I don't know. She's actually like Greystripe's friend. I think she is Greystripe's friend, actually. She was the foster mother of Feathertail and Stormfur. She helped Greystripe raise them because they needed someone to feed them and all of that. And Greystripe couldn't do it, so Mossbelt was like, okay, let me do it. So they became friends. They didn't become like especially co-parents like Thrushbelt and Bluestar, but you know, they were friends helping raise these babies. Mossbelt right now doesn't have a lot of protagonism. I think she mostly antagonizes Misty Star and the River Clan cats as of the current arc. From what I understand, I've only read the first book of that arc. I don't know what else happened. But Mossbelt is just she as a warrior, as a young warrior, just seems so easygoing and she's just so willing to help Greystripe and the babies and all of that. And as an elder, she's just very snarky, as elders tend to be. But she has this spite to it, and I like that about her. Oh, she's also Willowshine's mother. I forgot about that. She's Willowshine's mother. I also had a lot of trouble designing Mossbelt because she's a tortoiseshell cat, but I wanted her to be like moss-like, you know? But I didn't want her to be like just a boring brown, so I tried to make her a bit of a green tinted brown, but it also looked like very bright green, and I had a lot of trouble trying to find the right hue. It was a mess, but I think I came out with something that could, it still looks okay, I guess. I'm still not very sold on the color palette, but I tried, and I'm gonna let it with that because I don't want her to be like a super boring brown, I want her to be like moss. So that was my attempt at that. Mossbelt doesn't have a lot of characteristics as the last cats I've talked about, but Mossbelt, she's nice. I like her. Lilyheart, my beloved. Oh, I love Lilyheart so much. Lilyheart. Okay. Lilyheart is the youngest daughter of Brackenfur and Sorrelstripe. Okay, fair warning. From this point on, I'm gonna be calling Sorreltail Sorrelstripe for some reason. Lilyheart is just so kind and supporting and just cool-headed too. Like she knows what she's doing. I first started liking her character in Bremelsar Storms when she was an apprentice, mostly because of the way her grief was shown after her sister died. Not that, oh my god, she's so cool because her sister died. Mostly like the way her character expressed itself and how she coped and all of that. That was a bit relatable to me, so I started liking her a lot for that. After she gets her name in honor of her sister and Sorrelstripe, that was really good too. It was very heartwarming, and she was like, I'm wearing this name with pride, like I'm doing this for my family. And then she grows up, has her kittens, and I legit for a second didn't remember who her children were, but yeah, from her children, the only important one is Larksong, Sparkbell's mate. And I don't think we see a lot from Larksong and Lilyheart together, but we do see a lot of Lilyheart as a grandmother to Nightheart and Finchlight, especially with Nightheart. She's such an important foundation to Nightheart's life. She's always there for him. Even though Nightheart, gets edgy and snaps at her and whatever, Lilyheart just tries her best to be there for him. And even if he tries to push her away, she wants to be there and she wants to help whenever she can. And even if she's not able to help, she's not gonna beat herself up for it. She's gonna be like, okay, I tried, and I'm still gonna be here if you need me. And if you don't need me, I'm gonna, stay away. I don't want to get in your way either, but I'm here. I'm here if you need me, okay? And that's so good of her. I like her. I like Lily Hart a lot. She's my baby. I already had a previous design with Lily Hart, so I just took that design and tried to implement the ThunderClan physical shapes and features into her as best as I could. So we can see like the square tail, the curled ears, and all of that. But I honestly don't see much of ThunderClan in her when it comes to my own headcanons on how ThunderClan cats should be shaped. My top 3 right now are Foxlip, Lily Hart, Sudfur. He was also one of my first background wear cats that I loved. You know, he's just the OG one for me. He is White Storm's son, brother to Sorrel Stripe and Rain Whisker. I wish there was more to Rain Whisker. Sadly, there is not. He's overshadowed by Sudfur and Sorrel Stripe. I'm so sorry, Rain Whisker. I already had a design for Sudfur as well. So I just went crazy with that and drew him again and all of that. He also had a very rough upbringing, mostly because I think it was mentioned in either Grey Stripe's Bow or Firestar's Quest that Sudfur and his siblings felt a great loss when White Storm died. And then in Firestar's Quest, I remember this because this traumatized me as a child. He's out hunting with Willowpelt, his mother. Willowpelt is also a very good character, by the way. And I don't know who else. Firestar was there. He's about to get killed by a Badger. And just before he's about to get killed, Willowpelt gets in front of him and she takes the killing blow. And she dies like right in front of him. And then the other cats drive the Badger away and all of that. But Sudfur is traumatized because he feels like he caused his mother's death. Kind of like Foxlip with his other accidental death. Except Sudfur was much younger. He was an apprentice here. He was extremely traumatized and sick and blamed himself a lot because of this. So it was bad. I remember they also had to tell like Sorrelpaw and Rainpaw about Willowpelt's death. And Sudfur was like, I don't want to tell them. I don't want to tell them that I caused this, Sudfur was obviously very close to Sorrel Stripe and Rain Whisker because of their parental loss. Up to Twilight, that's like their most defining characteristic, that they are very close to each other. As siblings, they are very, very close. And I love like that dynamic between the 3 of them. And then Sudfur dies, and his death, like Foxlip's, is so brutal too. It's so fucked. Squirrelflight is the one that sees it happen. And he also gets killed by a Badger, much like Willowpelt. It's brutal. I also don't want to describe it. It's bad. It's very bad. It's a very sad death, and I don't like it. I remember when Rain Whisker has to tell Sorrel Stripe that just gave birth. And she's very happy because she gave birth, she has her children and all of that, and Rain Whisker has to come in and tell Sorrel Stripe that Sudfur is dead. And that scene was brutal too. It's not a good scene in the terms that it's not a happy scene. It's so sad because Rain Whisker tells her what happened. It takes like a few seconds for Sorrel Stripe to process it. And once she processes it, she screams. She screams so bad. And Rain Whisker is here to be there for her. But it's so sad, you guys. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Because of that, Sudfur has a very special place in my heart. He has so much potential, in my opinion, for warrior cats, background characters, and stories. And I would love to make a video on him. Like, he's so good. As for character design, like I already mentioned, I already had this design for him, and for Solar Stripe and Rain Whisker for that matter. And I tried to give him like, ThunderClan features, and I failed so bad with him. But I failed in a good way because I like his face shape so much, even though it looks like nothing like the ThunderClan cats I'm gonna be drawing next. Like, this is nothing like ThunderClan, This is so not ThunderClan, but I like it a lot. So I'm just like, the way I'm excusing myself with his body shape and face shape is that they have WindClan ancestry. So I'm like, maybe he got some, WindClan genes, and that's why he looks like that. That's my excuse, because I really didn't want him to change his face shape, it looks very good to me. I'm just saying. Then we have Sunstrike. Sunstrike is such a background character. She has no lines. She literally has nothing going on for her. The only thing you know about Sunstrike is that she was from Wind Clan and she was a Dark Forest apprentice. That's all you know from her. She has like one line in the entire series, I think. Ivypool thought she was very cool, so you can make something out of that. I don't know, maybe a ship, maybe, I don't know. But I really like her name. I love her name. Obviously, we don't have like a picture of her canonically. The way she's described, a calico cat with a white spot on her face, that sounds very cool to me. Even more so because your name is Sunstrike, so you can say she has a sun on her face. So, I also had a previous design of Sunstrike back in 2018, I think. But it was so complex. It was so complex and boring, in my opinion, with the colors. They were very dull and all of that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give her, obviously, the Wind Clan appearance, very long, very skinny. And also very fluffy. I don't know, Sunstrike sounds like very spiky, like the sun. The sun is not spiky, what am I saying? Like, the stylized drawings of the sun, that the sun has spikes when you draw it and whatever. So I pictured that and I tried to implement it on Sunstrike's new design. With that said, this design is also very complicated. I will not animate this. I will not animate this, but thankfully, I am not planning to animate this. So I think I'm good on that. Poppy Frost is also up there on my top 5 favorite background characters from Warriors. Poppy Frost is just, first of all, her name, good name. I love her name. She's so good. Second of all, as an apprentice, she was so interesting. Like, her friendship with J-Paw, and she had some subtle connection with StarClan too, because she could, have dreams of it. And she almost died once, and J-Paw had to, pull her away and prevent her from dying early. Mostly because they didn't want Sorrel Stripe to suffer more because she already lost more children. And I also really like that she's a mini Sorrel Tail. I think that's very cute, So I try to implement that in her character design. I will get to her character design in a bit. I really like Poppy Frost. As an apprentice, she was very interesting with all these StarClan connections and just silly antics as a very, she's very girly, very fun. She had a horrendous crush on Berry Paw, aka Berry Nose, and it was really silly to see that, very childish, but in a good way, It's like, this feels age appropriate of her. Fawn over him and love him and all of that, and Berry Nose is just like, I'm just existing, It's very funny. As an adult, she still keeps this way, but she feels guilty because her sister, Honeyfern, becomes mates with Berry Nose. And she's like, oh, obviously I cannot get into the relationship and I don't want to because that's my sister, I don't want to do that. I still don't know how I feel about this. It's been years and I still don't know how to feel about this, but Honeyfern dies and then Poppy Frost gets with Berry Nose. I don't know how to feel about it. It's been years and it still feels weird. I don't know why that decision was made, but thankfully, Poppy Frost is actually very conscious about this decision because in Woman of the Stars, when she's pregnant and all of that, when she's pregnant, she goes to the moon pool, again having this weird StarClan connection, and she wants to talk to the spirit of Honeyfern to get her blessing because she's like, I'm a horrible sister for getting married to my sister's ex. She really wants to talk up to Honeyfern and have her blessing and all of that because she feels awful with herself. And then Brispel comes in and he almost kills Poppy Frost just for existing. My man was insane. Jay Feather saves Poppy Frost, and I think that's very cool because they are already friends. I really like their friendship. I think it's cool. Some shenanigans happen. Honeyfern's spirits saves them, and she can finally, talk to Honeyfern. And Honeyfern is like, do whatever you want. I don't care. Just be happy, And that's good. That's cute, I guess. It still feels weird to me that you would do that. Marry your dead sister's ex. I know. It feels a little bit weird, but you do you. If you feel happy and she's okay with it, then go ahead, I guess. Poppy Frost is a fun character. She's really fun to read. and I really like her, okay? Before I started this doodle, I already had like this new design that I made from scratch for my Bristol PNB, and I didn't have any foundation on that design. I just made it up on the spot, and I just tried to remember like the poppy, like the flower and poppy seeds and all of that, and I was like, okay, how can I implement that into a cat? But I didn't have like the genetics and the WordCats shape guide that I had, like nothing of it. So I took the design I made for the PNB, drag it here, pull up my old sorrel stripe, my old sorrel tail design, and try to mix them together, because Poppy Frost is said to be sorrel stripes, like a mini sorrel stripe, a mini sorrel tail. Have I been calling her sorrel stripe all this time? A miniature sorrel tail, oh my god. I wanted to do that, but also like give her own personality. She has some freckles on her face, resembling poppy seeds. Black marking on her face is taken directly from sorrel tail, and the chest marking is also something she is sharing with sorreltail. And the mark on her shoulder, on her right shoulder, is something she also shares with Lilyheart, because they are sisters. Yarrowleaf, I just really like her. I don't have a good excuse for liking her. She's so sad. She's such a sad cat. Someone help her. At first, I didn't really think much of her. Her name was interesting to me. It sounded like a cute name. I know Yarrow in WordCats is used for like growing up and all of that, so that's not very nice to think about. But it's a cute name if you don't know that context. If you don't know what Yarrow does to you, then it's a cute name. I had never drawn Yarrowleaf before. I just remembered her because she was very interesting as an apprentice. She, joined Darktail because she wanted to be like an anarchist. But then as she grew older, she wanted to go back to the clans because she realized she was not doing anything good and she didn't want it to be bad. But at this point she was pregnant and nowhere to go. The scene that stuck to me the most is when she's pregnant and she goes to Leafstar to ask for refuge, and Snowbird is there, and Leafstar straight up refuses to shelter Yarrowleaf, and she's pregnant, and Snowbird is there, and Snowbird just snaps at Leafstar like, that's my daughter, and she's pregnant, and you just exile her. What the hell? WordCats struggle a lot for a long time to show familial connections and how parents feel about their children, how children feel about their parents, and all of that. And the fact Snowbird was so angry about that, and how Yarrowleaf had nowhere to go and she wanted the comfort of her family, it was just, it's good. I love stuff like that. So that's why I love Yarrowleaf and Snowbird. They are very cool characters. As for Yarrowleaf's character design, I winged it. I didn't know what I was doing. Her character description says she's like a red tabby, I think, but I didn't want her to just make her a red tabby, It's like, it's boring. It's just boring. So I looked up at pictures of Yarrow, like the flower, and trying to implement something like this, and just making her pure red seemed boring to me. And then I remembered her father, I think, is a gray cat, so I was like, wait, I can make her a calico. So that's what I did. I added some blue to contrast with the yellow and the red, and added some cream, gave her a bit of like Snowbird's stocky body shape, make her fur even more droopy, very short tail. She has a primordial pouch because that seems very important to me. A lot of scars from her time with Darktail, and just very sad. She has a few spots that are supposed to resemble like the Yarrow petals and all of that. I'm not sure that's what it looks like, but I tried. So that's Yarrowleaf. I love her. She's very cool to me. We have the silliest guy ever, Flipclaw. Flipclaw, I love that Ivypool has a stupid son. That sounds like something she needed, because Ivypool has been through hell and back, like so bad. She's gone through it so bad. Her husband is just like the softest guy you could ever meet. Then they have kids, and you get this guy. The silliest, the most stupid cat I have ever seen in WordCats. He's so dumb, and for what? And for what? But I like that he's dumb. I like that in a man. Like, do I even need to explain why I love Flip-Claw? He's just so stupid. Like, he's already so silly, but I guess my favorite, like, silly moment he has is when he's made a medicine cat. Like, out of nowhere, he's made a medicine cat by Ashford, of all people. Because he had a very silly dream, and Asher was like, that's an omen. That means you're a medicine cat. And Flip-Claw was like, no, I'm not. But he was thrown into a position anywhere. And he was about to kill everyone because he had no idea what he was doing. He was about to accidentally poison the entire clan. That's how stupid he was. Like, even, like, Brightheart had to come in. Like, old, blind Brightheart had to come in and be like, you know, sweetie, I'm gonna help you. Flip-Claw was struggling, and Brightheart too, because she's not a medicine cat either. She knows some basics, but she doesn't know everything. Flip-Claw is so silly, and I love that ivypool has a stupid son. As for his design, for me, personally, Flip-Claw is brown ivypool. Him being just a generic brown tabby sounds so boring to me, and I was like, I need one of ivypool's children to look like her. And I don't want it to be Bristlecross because that feels so obvious to me personally, so I was like, why not Flip-Claw? You know, he's there, he's stupid, might as well. Flip-Claw is just brown ivypool, and I already, again, for him, I already had like a previous design for him. But he was mostly brown in that design, and he had generic blue eyes. I'm so sick of every work having blue eyes, I'm sorry. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna remake it and give him more ivypool features. You know, I'm gonna give him more white markings and just go crazy with that. So that's what I did, and here we have him. As for his build, he's also like not very ThunderClan like. He's just very skinny and funny and just stupid. So I'm gonna excuse myself saying he has a lot of bloodlines going through him, so that's gonna be my excuse. He's not pure ThunderClan, so he's not gonna look pure ThunderClan, you know? That's my excuse. Then at this point, I was like, I've been drawing a lot of cats, but there hasn't been a SkyClan cat. And I like a lot of SkyClan cats, but not background characters. And I was like, this is gonna be so unfair if I don't draw at least one SkyClan cat. And I thought for a long while, like, which background SkyClan cat do I like? And I thought for a long while. And then I remembered Cherry Tail exists. And she was like one of the first apprentices of the new SkyClan. And she was trained by Sandstorm, I think. I don't know, I really liked her as an apprentice. And then when she came back in A Vision of Shadows, I didn't read Hogwing's Journey. Is that how the book's called? I read the wiki and I saw she had stayed behind with Barley and all of that because she was depressed after the death of her child, and I felt for her, you know, that she had to stay behind like that. I guess I really like when characters go through it and they manage their grief in such a compelling way, and when they come back stronger. I think that's a trope I like the most. And in the end, she rejoins SkyClan because she realizes they have more to this than grief. Meets with her children and her grandchildren because, oh yeah, she's Violet Shine's grandmother, Root Spring's great-grandmother. Cherry Tail is already quite old. She gives sweet but tired grounded vibes. She's around her family and she likes that, and she's not gonna back down anymore. We have Strikestone. Strikestone is Donpel's only good child. He's the only non-evil one. My love for Strikestone was born during A Vision of Shadows when Juniper Paw and Slickpaw left ShadowClan and Donpel was in shambles, you know, because those are her kids and they just went and joined whatever the hell Darktail's group was supposed to be. Strikestone was there for her all the time. He was trying his best to support her and make her proud. He's given a son that wants to fix his family's grief to the best of his abilities. I really like that about him. I don't know, something about his character drove me to him. And he's also a Tiger Star clone, which I found very funny. Then I found out he died. He died in what was his name? What was the arc's name? Hold on. Oh, of the Broken Code. He died in the Broken Codes arc. I don't know which book, but he died. I was so upset because I have this thing with rare cats where I want some cats' lineage go forward with certain cats, and I wanted Tawny Pearl's lineage to continue with Strikestone rather than with Tiger Heartstar, because I think that's boring. And then we realize Strikestone's dead, and all of his siblings are probably dead too. I just wanted one of them to be alive, at least for a couple of arcs. I did not want Strikestone to be dead, but he was, and I was so upset. And he's still alive in my heart. I refuse to believe he's dead. Okay, he's not dead, not to me. With Strikestone, it was only natural that I came to the conclusion, man, I am missing Dawnpelt. During all this time, I completely missed Dawnpelt. And I'm sure when I post this video, and I'm gonna remember some other cats that I forgot about, that I love and I forgot about. I made a whole SPMB on her. How did I forget about her? I also didn't think much of her when she first became a character. First, she was like, okay, she's Tawny Pelt's daughter. That's cool, I think. But then, in A Vision of Shadows, seeing her with her family and bad politics stuff that was happening, the pressure she was having for being Rowan Starr's daughter, and sociopolitical interactions, and her pressure on her children who left her, it was so messed up, trying to see her cope with all of that on her own, because Tawny Pelt was also doing her own business, trying to be there for Dawnpelt, of course, but she was still trying to be there mostly for Rowan Claw. Tiger Heartstar was also minding his own business. Plaintail is dead. Dawnpelt was basically mostly on her own, and then her children left, and then her husband dies, and she's breaking down. She doesn't know where to go. She's just complete static. And that's so sad. That's what drove me to her too, because her character became 10 times more interesting to me because of how she managed all this grief, As I did with Strikestone, when I found out she died, I cannot explain how upset I was. I figured out because I was reading Tiger Heart's Shadow, I think. And when Tiger Heart is getting his 9 lives and Tom appears, I'm like, wait, no. No, don't do this to me. I was so upset. I was so angry that. Because again, I wanted Tawny Pelt's lineage to go on through someone other than Tiger Heart. His character is interesting too, but he's so boring. He's so generic. He's a generic man. I don't want him. Now though, I really like his children, but I don't like Tiger Heart. Tiger Heart cannot be the only living child of Tawny Pelt. I refuse. Please, Dawnpelt and Tawny Pelt had a very cool relationship in A Vision of Shadows. I cannot say the same for Tiger Heart and Tawny Pelt. They do have a lot of interactions, but they are not very good in my opinion. They are very tense all the time. And with Dawnpelt and Tawny Pelt, you could feel like they related to one another, emotionally relate to one another, and I really like that, and I cannot do that with Tiger Heart and Tawny Pelt. So, Strikestone, Dawnpelt is alive in my heart, okay? She's not dead. With Dawnpelt, I too had already a previous design for her, but I wanted to give her some more vibrant colors and more distinct shapes. I think she has curled ears like ThunderClan, droppy fur like Shadow Clan, and a square tail like ThunderClan. So she looks more like a ThunderClan cat than a ShadowClan cat, but that's actually intentional. So that's my journey designing these characters and why I love them and all of that. So yeah, that's my journey designing these characters, explaining to you why I love them while a hurricane is on the way. I'm safe, by the way. We are prepared for the hurricane, so everything's fine. I also think I made a lot of these characters sound more interesting than that they actually are. I guess that's my personal interpretation of the characters rather than what they actually look like in the book. Check the Warriors wiki, I guess, and have a more accurate description of how the characters are, because I think I went a bit on the headcanon route rather than the actual canon of the books. I didn't say everything I was gonna say here was canon, I said that I wanted to talk about cats I like, and that's what I did. I'm making excuses for myself. Please let me know what you think of these characters. The character design, please let me know if I have a same face syndrome or something. I'm not sure. I cannot tell. And also, please tell me what are your favorite, your Warrior Cats background characters, because I mean, these are mine, but there's a lot of background characters in Warriors. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm just gonna take a break now. So yay. See ya.